Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible shield that protects pretty much everything we do online. It's a technology you use constantly, every single day, and you probably don't even realize it's there. So think about this for a second. You're online, you find something you want to buy, and you hit that Buy Now button. You type in your credit card, your address, all this super sensitive information, and you just trust that it's going to get where it needs to go safely. But how? What's actually stopping somebody from just snatching that information right out of thin air? That brings us to our first section, a secret on every screen. Seriously, every single time you send a private message, log into your bank account, or even just hop on the Wi-Fi at a coffee shop, you're placing your faith in this kind of silent digital bodyguard. So, what is this thing? And what is it actually doing? Well, let's get into it. Section 2, the magic of modern ciphers. Turns out, the magic behind all this digital trust, it has a name, and that name is cryptography. It is the engine that powers all of modern digital security. At its core, it's all about using some really advanced math to take readable stuff like your password or an email and just scramble it into total gibberish. And that jumbled up, unreadable message, that's what we call a cipher. You know, a much simpler way to think about it is like a super advanced secret language. Your readable message gets locked away, and the only possible way to unlock it and actually read it is if you have the one specific special key. Without that key, the cipher is just a meaningless jumble of characters. Now, this is where things get really clever, because it turns out there isn't just one way to use these keys. There are actually two fundamental approaches, which brings us to Section 3. One key versus two keys. First up, we have what's called symmetric encryption. And the name kind of gives it away, right? Symmetric means it's the same on both sides. Use one single secret key to lock the message, and then the person on the other end uses that exact same key to unlock it. It sounds beautifully simple, but there's a huge catch. The process itself is really straightforward, and it's incredibly fast. You and I agree on a secret key. I use it to scramble my message, I send it to you, and you use that very same key to unscramble it. Easy. But the massive glaring problem is that very first step. How do I get you that secret key in the first place without someone else intercepting it? And that huge challenge, well, it leads us to this absolutely brilliant second solution, asymmetric encryption. This was a total game changer. Because instead of just one shared key, you have a pair of different but mathematically connected keys, a public key and a private key. Okay, so check this out because this is genius. You have a public key that you can give to literally everyone. Shout it from the rooftops, post it on a billboard, it doesn't matter. Now, I take that public key and I use it to lock my message to you. But here's the magic trick. The only thing in the entire universe that can unlock that message is your private key, which you have kept totally secret. The key that locks the box can't open it. So, okay, let's put them side by side. You have symmetric, which is super fast, but has that big security problem up front. And then you have asymmetric, which solves the key sharing problem, but is a lot slower and more complex. So what does the modern internet do? It uses both, and this is the truly brilliant part. Systems use the slow but secure asymmetric method for just a moment, just long enough to safely exchange a key for the fast symmetric method. It is the absolute best of both worlds. So, all this talk of keys and ciphers, it might still feel a bit abstract, but this is where it all comes home. Section 4, your invisible digital bodyguard. This stuff is working for you all day, every day. That little padlock icon you see up in your browser's address bar? Yep, that's your browser and the website doing that exact hybrid dance we just talked about to create a secure private channel. When you send a private email or connect to a secure Wi-Fi network, it's all powered by these methods, scrambling your data so nobody else can snoop. But it's not just about keeping things secret. It's about creating trust. The same math that scrambles the data also allows for something called digital signatures, and these guarantee two absolutely crucial things. First, integrity, that the message you received hasn't been messed with, and second, authenticity,
that it really, truly came from the person who claims to have sent it. So you see, this entire system of trust is built on the strength and security of those keys. Which brings us to our final and maybe most important section. What happens if keys fail? We've seen how encryption works as our digital bodyguard. But think about it. Our entire digital world, our money, our privacy, our secrets, it's all ultimately being protected by these tiny bits of information. It all boils down to the keys, which leaves us with one last, really critical question. If the keys protect our data, what protects the keys? Thanks for joining us.